competing, but there's right ways to do it and wrong ways to do it.
Baylor has spent the last 4 weeks in the top spot in the polls. The Bears go for their 23rd straight win tonight against Oklahoma, which would be a Big 12 record. And with just a couple of weeks left in the season, head coach Scott Drew's belief in his team has never been higher.
We know it's a team, and whoever we put out there, we expect them to do their job. And why we're a good team is every day in practice we're so competitive, and iron sharpens iron. So we have faith and confidence in whoever we put in there and how they're going to play.
8th-ranked Florida State looks to avenge one of its 4 losses this year. They'll take on Pitt tonight. Leonard Hamilton's team just a game off the lead in the ACC, but the Florida State head coach told the Jim Rome show yesterday the best is still ahead.
We're trying to get to that magic level, that elusive mindset where everybody is hitting on all cylinders at the same time, and we haven't come close to that yet, but we've been fortunate enough to win while we're still developing.
And 5th-ranked Dayton is on the road at VCU looking for its 15th straight win. I'm Rich Ecker.
This is Zach Gelb, and I like to talk sports with you on CBS Sports Radio. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, 855-212-4CBS. The Jim Rome Show on CBS Sports Radio 1140 and the Radio.com app is brought to you by William Hill Race and Sports Book.
California. This is the Jim Rome Show on CBS Sports Radio.
We go to our second hour. Welcome to the jungle. My name is Jim Rome. A very good Tuesday to you. Program brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. By Quicken Loans, Rocket Mortgage is with you every step of the way to provide a seamless mortgage experience. You know this. This is an all-time beef segment. It's one thing for the beef segment to carry an entire segment and to carry it well. Another thing for the beef segment to jump a segment. But I can already tell you right now, we can easily do an entire another segment on your beefs. We do it once a week. What's your beef? By Old Trapper, because there's a lot of beef out there. Jamie in Green Bay responds to Bob in LA. Hey Bob, nobody watches Hogan's Heroes anymore. Call back with a Gunsmoke reference next time. Man, that is so true. Bonanza didn't want any of that. The Big Valley didn't want any of that. Ike loves these references. Green Acres didn't want any of that. The Rifleman didn't want any of that. I Dream of Jeannie didn't want any of that. Get Smart didn't want any of that. It's Bob in LA, right? I mean, how old is that guy? Of course he went with a reference from Hogan's Heroes. I think he was kind of going with a Crane reference, you know? Jim Crane, Bob Payne, Bob Crane.
Starring Bill Payne, their owner, as Sergeant Schultz.
Bill Payne. Oh, so close, Bob. As Sergeant Schultz. Sergeant Schultz smack. MASH. Didn't want any of that. What was that show called? It'll Come to Me. Had kind of a Western slant to it. You know, like that variety show. I don't know. Ike, I would say that the staff is too young, but you're not. You should know what I'm talking about. Hey, Rome, my beef is with pregnant weather lady. Always out of breath, trying to tell me it's foggy and raining. Leaning into the desk, go home and spit that kid out already. Your beef is with, quote, pregnant weather lady? She's doing her job, bro. Jim, what is the deal with salsa bars and those tiny little cups? Nothing is more annoying than waiting in line for some salsa before some bag starts to build the Leaning Tower of Pisa while proceeding to make the whole bar a crime scene. Hey, bag, here's a pro tip. Grab the ladle and shovel the salsa onto your plate so we can all get along with the rest of our lives. Fred in Riverside, war renaming that piece of metal the Players' Trophy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But then again, is it the patron's fault or is it the salsa bar's fault for those stupid little cups they give you? This is an all-timer, this beef segment. It just keeps going. Hey, Rome, my beef is with waiters. Emailing your show, calling Canadians cheap when they should be mopping up milk that a 4-year-old just spilled at his feet. Lee in Vancouver, Canada's in. Rome, my beef is with Mike in Peoria. 20% for good service is appropriate, and you get 10. Do the math, simpleton. Stop emailing radio programs and bring me my Grand Slam breakfast. Chris in Canada, noted Scotty Tippin fan. Jim, my beef is with the subhumans that take their shoes off on airplanes. No one wants to see your disgusting feet. They look like abused hamsters. Stay off my plane, animal. Tom in Baltimore. I always felt the same way. I always felt the same way until the past year, and I'm not saying that I don't still feel the same way, but for the first time I had a question in my mind about that. For a long time, I thought that anybody who took off their shoes on an airplane was a deadbeat and a scumbag, and it was disgusting. But then the last couple of years I've been flying a lot in business shoes, and I'm telling you, man, there are flights I have where my feet are literally about to explode through my shoes. I do not take off my shoes, but the thought has crossed my mind. You know, I'm not doing it because it's like my living room and I want to get comfortable. It's because my feet are swelling up. What is that? Is there an answer? Or do you just sit there and endure it and not be a total scumbag about it? I side with Tom still. Hee-haw! Exactly, thank you. I knew somebody would get that. Hee-haw. Hee-haw didn't want any of that. Romy, my beef is with every single retail salesperson. No matter what you're looking at, a car, a stereo, a TV, a bed, they always say, that's the exact same one I have in my home. Mike and Snowbird. But not really. No, they don't.